Hey everyone, it's Eve Richards from the Discovery Pod. Welcome to another episode. We've got a very exciting episode today with a singer, more into her background in a minute. So please make sure you watch this episode on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcast channel. I'm joined today by my friend, Melissa Neese-Smith. Welcome back, Melissa. Actress Melissa Neese-Smith. I can't talk today. Something is wrong with me.
We got to get you some caffeine.
I'm hungry and I need coffee. I haven't had coffee.
Roger,
seriously,
coffee.
It's been a long. It's been a long day, so no coffee. I'm like, I need a little bit of coffee. So, Melissa, my goodness, it's so great to host another episode with you. This is, I don't know, number 3 today so far, right? It's been a long day, long morning, and it's going to be a long night as well.
It's all good.
Yes, it's good. So we're approaching the holidays, even though this episode may air next year.
Yep, next year.
It's that wonderful time. So what are you going to be doing over the holidays?
Hopefully going home to Seattle. I have family. My husband and my son still live up there. And, last year I wasn't able to get home. You and I were spending Christmas Eve together. And then Christmas Day was just a whirlwind also. But hopefully this year I get to go home. You look festive. You look gorgeous.
You too.
I love the outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Love it.
I love the green.
Thank
we're
you.
sort of like matchy-matchy.
We kind of are.
We kind of are, without the green. Love it. I know. I'm just so happy that, you're going to be going home because I got to say, the holiday season is all about spending time with family.
Absolutely.
And last December was such a tough time. I can never forget when you were on the phone with Matt. Here we were having this festive meal. We had so much food, and Matt was at home, and he was all by himself.
He was all by himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I remember you getting emotional about it also because you are so family-oriented person.
Yes.
And especially when it comes to the holidays that you already started planning at that time, Easter.
Yes.
And they need to be here for Easter.
They need to come for Easter. No, I can never forget that. Matt being on the phone, and we had just spent a wonderful day. Universal Studio. Oh my God, that was so fun. Oh my God, we got to do that.
We do
right?
have to do it before the end of the year.
I don't even know if we're gonna have time, but we got to find time to go to Universal. So it's a great segue into introducing our guest. We are thrilled to have a truly remarkable guest joining us today on the Discovery Pod with Eve. Keslie Kimberlain is a talented singer, songwriter whose journey in music began at an incredibly young age. From her first break at 8 years old to her recent viral hits, including a song that received over 1 million views on YouTube. Yes, Keslie's music has captured hearts around the world. Not only is she a gifted artist, but she's also a passionate advocate for Ukraine, where she has engaged in humanitarian efforts and filmed powerful music videos in the midst of the war. Wow. We are so excited to dive deep into her inspiring story, her creative process, and what's next for this rising star. Keslie, it is so good to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to.
So, your musical journey started at such a young age. Can you take us back to your childhood and share the moment you realized music would be your path in life?
Well, so from a really young age, my dad's always been really involved in music, and even probably since the age of 1 year old, my dad was putting big headphones on me and taking me to rock concerts, which no parent probably should be doing with their newborn child. But it got me really into music, and I got really big into the Beatles. But the biggest thing was always just seeing my dad work with music, and he always taught me about music. And I've just known since a young age I wanted to do it. And so when I was 8, I did this, I forget what it was exactly called, the actual name, but I won this first prize in the First Nation, and I wrote a song, and I got a bunch of money from it. And back then, and still now, music lessons are really
back
expensive.
then, only a few
Well, like, yeah, like, you know, but like music lessons are pretty expensive, and they just get more expensive nowadays. So my family couldn't afford all the music lessons I wanted to do. So I actually used all that money and paid for all my own music lessons. So that got me really, really big into music and actually got me training, learning guitar and piano and learning how to move my voice and work with vocal coaches. And from there on, I've just been writing songs and putting out videos and just trying to do something I love.
Wow. And you had an incredible start with Yoko Ono's Peace Project at just
that's when I was 8
years old.
Wow.
8 years old. How did that experience shape your perspective on music?
That experience shaped it
And activism,
more in the
right?
sense of I was like, I think it gave me more recognition and more confidence in realizing I'm like, oh, others actually like what I've done or written, and I'm pretty young. And so it was kind of shocking also being 8, like not really understanding. Like I knew who the Beatles were. I knew who Yoko Ono was. I was like ecstatic because I love the Beatles to this day. So it was like kind of surreal for me, but it was also like the moment I was like, oh, people are actually listening and you can maybe do this, you know? Wow. So that was really cool for me.
That's awesome.
And it still gets talked about nowadays. So I'm like, it's just crazy, you know, as people still remember about it.
Wow. So you've recorded more than 100 original songs. How has your songwriting process evolved over the years?
I think more recently it's evolved, I guess, in the last few years. The more recent kind of progress is that I think I've been like talking about more like issues in the world and like you know, God, words. I haven't had coffee either today.
We feel you. We got you.
Oh, yes.
But it's like my music has gone into more like world problems and bringing awareness into things. And that's something I've been doing a little differently than before. But like kind of my process has always been, I've been told, if anyone ever heard my life story, I've been told to write a book, like by multiple people. And my life, I'm telling you, my friends always tell me, they're like, Keslie, how do you even breathe every day? And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
you're only 24.
25 now, but yes. But no, I turned in April. But I've gone through so much more than I think that most people have gone through in their life. So it's just, I kind of write on experience and just write everything down that I'm feeling or how I'm doing. Yeah. And that's kind of where my music comes from. It's just, I couldn't even tell you. One day I think I'm going to write a book and then people understand and be like, okay, that's a lot at 25.
Wow.
And then, like, because music is about a story, you know, a song is a story. Yeah. It tells a story. So, I mean, that's a great way to do it. Yeah. So, and then your first music video that you recorded more than, like, it received over 100,000 views.
Wow.
For your first one.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it was spotted on Taylor Swift's fan site.
Wow.
You know? That's amazing.
Oh, that one, yes. That's when I was like 15, right? 14 or 15.
Regardless, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, 1 million views, 100,000 views, Yoko Ono, Taylor Swift. I mean, come on. This is amazing. I mean, I can't get over reading this. This is amazing. And then, so what did it feel like?
That one was really cool because the backstory on this is like, this is the craziest thing ever. When I was younger, my dad found Taylor Swift somehow, like online. This is like before she blew up. And she was going to be playing at some bar in Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
And it was literally a bar, like a restaurant food kind of bar, so you could bring your kids in. So my dad took my entire family and my mom, put us in a car, drove us to Ohio from Maryland.
Wow.
And we went to go see her. And my mom was like, why, am I allowed to, I won't curse exactly, but my mom was like, why the, F are we going to go see some random girl in Ohio, driving to Ohio? It's like from 7 hours for us. And my dad was like, trust me, this girl's going to be huge. And then she blew up the next year. So we've gone to like every concert since, except for this latest one. It was a little expensive for us. So we went to every single one of them. So when that happened, I was like, this is the craziest moment ever. Because my dad is the biggest Swiftie you'll ever meet. Like, I love her, but my dad's a Swiftie. Wow. So it was like really surreal for us. And it did blow me up a little bit, but I also took a little bit of a break because of it as well. Because I started getting like some stalkers from it. I like moved schools twice actually.
Oh my God.
So I kind of
happens,
took a little bit of a
unfortunately.
break from it for a little bit. I was going through like high school and all that kind of stuff. And now I've gotten back into it, I guess, during COVID.
Hmm.
And I've kind of grown up a lot to be able
Wow.
to deal with that. But it was a lot at like 14, 15 years old.
Incredible. So you've worked with some incredible industry professionals, including Grammy winners. What was it like collaborating with some of these artists, and what did you learn from those experiences?
So I still work with them, honestly, daily. I figure out who would match best with what sound. So it
Hmm.
depends on the song who I send it to. But all of them have been great, and they've really, honestly, they've helped me bring like kind of a new sound to everything. And there was like, I remember a long time ago, I was like working with this one song. I was having some trouble with it, and I was like, it just doesn't sound right, doesn't sound like me. And I sent it to Liam Nolan, and he like mixed it completely differently. And I was like, oh my God, you saw exactly what I was trying to say without having to use words. And then with Michael Brower, honestly, not to say he's my favorite, but we did the reason we got into such a good relationship, we actually bonded over my dog breed.
Wow. I saw
So,
your cat over there.
Oh, you
oh
got a
yeah,
cute cat?
Yes.
I have 12 animals in my house.
What?
My mom's a veterinarian, so we have
Oh,
Oh,
four
that's
dogs, right? Okay, yeah. We have five dogs or four dogs. Oh my God, hold on, give me a second. Toto, Bella, Ruby, Lilac, Daisy. Five dogs,
oh my
because
gosh.
two are mine. But family, like five dogs, four cats, chinchilla. We have a potbelly pig, fish tank, a bunny.
I need to come to
wow.
your house.
Yeah, and I have a cat. The cat that you saw, his name's Genghis. He's a rescue. I got him at
Oh,
like 9 years old. He's got one
Oh,
eye, feline AIDS, diabetes, and he was free. And I told my dad, I said, "Don't worry, he's free." And he's like our most expensive animal we
of
own.
course. Of course. But they're grateful. They always are.
Yeah,
So your
but with them, it's been great.
Spoof I Wonder,
Hmm.
gained significant attention for its powerful message about the war in the Ukraine. Um, so what inspired this track for you? And then how do you balance creating music with such meaningful messages?
So that's something I've been so that's something actually I've been like trying kind of struggling with at the same time as still doing it. And thinking it's going good because people have always looked at me and they're like, "Oh, like this actually is a great message." So every single day I'm still trying to make it stronger, the message to come across. But the way with Spoof I Wonder came, it was just hearing all the stories. So I don't know if people know this, but my mom was born and raised in Ukraine and my
yeah,
family lives in Ukraine.
definitely. Yeah.
So it's just like hearing everyone's stories and like escaping and leaving and just hearing all the tragedies. It kind of just inspired me to write Spoof I Wonder. And
Hmm.
I was talking to someone who was a frontline photographer. And so they sent me all their photos from the front line.
Wow.
And I kind of got this idea once I got those photos. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if with the Spoof I Wonder song, if we used all the photos and made a heart and did the Ukrainian flag colors? And that was kind of like my first little brand. Honestly, it might be my favorite video that I have
Oh,
filmed like recently,
wow.
was that one. But it was just, it kind of came together in that way because I thought they would resonate. And it was just like the line, like, is God real? Believing if God's real. Because it's like, it's kind of makes you question, like people to question like faith of like why is this happening if God is, but like not saying God isn't real. I support everyone believing what they want to believe in, but it was just kind of like I thought it would be an interesting twist and a good way to put that and show the pictures like if God is real, why is this happening? Kind of
Wow.
sense.
Yep. So you've also worked in Colombia filming a music video in the rainforest. How does that experience compare to your time in Ukraine?
Oh gosh. Okay, Columbia rainforest. That was honestly, I had the most fun time in Colombia.
Is that your
It
most
was
recent? Is that the most recent video that you just worked on?
So no, so the most recent one, I was just in Ukraine filming a documentary
Okay,
recently. So in Colombia, I was there last summer, so like not this last
got
summer,
it.
but like last summer. And we went to a lot of really cool places, and I love Colombia. I've been there multiple times. Food's amazing, people are amazing. The one thing about this shoot though was that people don't know behind the videos when they start to come out more and more. Um, well, we filmed another one. It hasn't been released yet, but
Hmm.
we hiked over 12 miles through the
Wow.
jungle.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
full makeup, camera sets, everything. And I went with my dad, who is 70 years old. So, and it was 102 degrees.
Whoa.
And we hiked and filmed this video. So it was absolutely brutal, but it was the most gorgeous sights I've ever seen. And I love hiking and being outdoors. So it was amazing. And then like the people I worked with was amazing. So I loved everything about Colombia, but I think the difference with that is this one was a little more fun, a little more poppy, and just a little more music oriented versus like human rights and like world issues. I think that was the difference.
Yeah.
And then Ukraine, obviously, going there, I love going to Ukraine. I love the food and I love the people. It's a little more stressful sometimes filming in Ukraine with like the circumstances and everything going on around you. But I think it's also just a little bit more rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
Can you share some of your most profound moments from traveling to the Ukraine? Because like you said, it was a challenging time when you went there to do the music video. So can you share some of those moments?
Yeah, so I actually just got back from Ukraine like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So I was just there, so I can tell you about both times
please.
of before. So the first time, I think the biggest thing for me is I love traveling, but like anyone who likes sitting on a plane for 10 hours. And then so you have to fly to Poland, and then you have to wait, like basically you have to go across the border, but we ended up missing one of our like connecting flights. So our journey there, no change of clothes, like no tea freshes, nothing, just me and my father. We had no food. We spent 4 days traveling to get there. And we ended up waiting like, I think it was like 10 hours at the border to even get into Ukraine. And then we had to drive like 12 hours to go through.
Oh my God.
That journey getting there, that was probably one of the biggest things for me. But it was also just going back and like seeing how, some places were destroyed that weren't before, and just seeing your friends. And here's a little thing that people don't know about Ukraine. It's like you go to Ukraine and you don't realize that you're kind of on edge all the time.
Wow.
So you're kind of constantly having adrenaline going through you because you hear you get used to the air raid sirens going off, and you look at your phone, you're like, okay, it's just a drone. I'm not going to go outside. And that sounds so crazy to say out loud, but it's just the truth. It's like you get so many of them a day. You look at your phone, you're like, okay, it's a drone in my area. Where is it? Do I leave or not leave? It's a missile. Yeah, you're going to go, and you're going to go as fast as you can. But you're kind of just constantly living with adrenaline. So like the one thing I didn't realize is like when I got home, it was like I crashed, like my body crashed. And it was like, oh, you're so tired and you didn't even realize it. And so like this last journey that I was in Ukraine was probably my most stressful one of filming. Because we had permission to film after midnight. There's a curfew in Ukraine, and you can't go after midnight. But we had special
permission,
like cards that let us travel through the night. So that's usually the most dangerous time to travel.
Wow.
But we had I went to like go see my family that I haven't seen in years because they were in like they're not like 9 kilometers, 10 minutes away from the front line. Oh, wow. So I had to evacuate them this trip. I had a drone blown up above my car this trip.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I stayed in a hotel that literally 13 hours later got blown up by 2 missiles.
No.
Oh, you're
right after I left.
What's sad?
I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, so it was just like little things like that.
So going back to the course, Ukraine, and obviously it was just a few years ago that this was one of the most beautiful places in the world to visit. I mean, it must be very stressful for you to go back and to see how destroyed this beautiful place and what it's become.
Yeah, it was. So here's something that happened to me that was kind of weird. So I was thinking about like this is what I kind of wanted to bring awareness to as well. It's like there's people that have been on the front line for 2 years. So there's a difference like being in villages and then being in Kiev, like the city.
Yeah.
So I was where my family's from, like Dnipropetrovsk area, and we went to like Donbass region, stuff like that. So there you're constantly hearing it sounds like constant thunder. If I could explain it in the sky, that's what it sounds like, just all day long. Oh. So when I got back from like the frontline areas and I went to the Kiev, to the city where it's kind of a bubble, if I'm honest, in the most respectful way, it's a little bit of a bubble compared to the rest of Ukraine. I ended up having a panic attack while I was sleeping.
Wow.
and like kind of stopped breathing. And when my dad finally got me to open my eyes, I like didn't know who he was or where I was for a second. So that's kind of like the difference of like where you are in Ukraine. And like it was just I think this trip was a lot more to take in because I actually went to where my family's from versus staying in the city.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an example of like the adrenaline trying to breathe and like the stress of it. But it's just really sad because you hear the stories, and it's stories that I've never heard before too. Like you hear about torture chambers, about the kids, and
it's really raw. It's really raw.
It's just a lot. And like my cousin passed in January.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear.
So like I was hearing his story from his battalion, so that was a lot this trip too. So when you hear the stories, it like makes you think differently. Like I thought I knew a lot before, but I was like, wow, I was really in a bubble until recently.
So sorry to hear. I'm gonna do an upbeat. So obviously you've worked with all of those great, incredible artists. Looking ahead, who are some of the artists or producers you're most excited to collaborate with next?
Next, if I could have like a person like next who I would love to work with. That's a really good question.
Put it out there in the universe.
Put it out there.
It's gonna happen.
I would love for it to happen. I've been waiting, but who would I say really? That's like a
because
really
you've
good
worked with
question.
Adele and everybody.
Yeah, I don't like if I was gonna say like an artist that I'd love to just like maybe sing with once or twice. It would probably be like Miley Cyrus if I'm completely honest.
Oh, she's good.
I really like her, and I like how she stands up for things, and she also has all these campaigns where like the Be Happy, and she stands for a lot of things that I stand for, so I think we'd get along. But I've gotten compared like our voices before because we both kind of have raspy.
You kind of look like her a little bit. I see
some raspy voice.
Raspy. Yeah,
I can hear
and
it.
the hair.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking like her would be really good with me. And producer-wise, I haven't really thought too much into it recently. I've been like, I'm like really happy with the team I have right now. And of course, like if anybody ever wants to work in the future, I'm always open to it, But I'm a big person with loyalty. So it's at the end of the day, it's like people who start with you, they're going to end with you as well.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
We just talked
today.
about that. Literally just talked about that. So right there. We got it.
Yeah, the people who start with you, start from like the fresh start, believed in you from the beginning, or like, the ones you keep around, you don't.
Your ride or dies, yeah.
Anyone.
For sure, for sure. So are there any specific regions or cultures you'd like to explore further in your music?
Regions and cultures. Honestly, so I would love to visit like every country that I possibly can that, also supports Ukraine because, but, so honestly, anything. I couldn't really tell you, like, because I've done the Colombia, I've done Ukraine. I've always wanted to go to Iceland. That's a huge one.
There you go.
That's a good place.
Iceland culture, because they have the volcano you can hike up to. You can cook your fish in the lava or whatever. I want to go see like the Northern Lights. I'm a big thing on like hiking in nature, so that would be a big one.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So, you've released more than a dozen songs on YouTube and other platforms, and your music has received millions of views. What do you think it is about your music that resonates so deeply with listeners?
This is a great question as well. Wow, really, like it's one after the other. Honestly, I think about this every day. I'm like, why do people want to listen to me? Why do they like me? What's going on? I still try to build my fan base every single day, and it's always really tough because I'm probably the most critical person of myself that you'll ever meet in your life. So like everything I do, even if I post it, I'm like, oh my God, there was this one thing and it was for 1 second. And it's like, I'm like, we have to delete the whole video. And my dad's like, no, we're not deleting the video.
Is your dad Brett?
My dad's Brett, yeah.
Okay. Is he your manager or he's your agent or a little bit of both or?
How would I explain?
He manages on the
like
team, part of the team.
Yeah, he's like a little Renaissance man. To be honest, he helps me a lot with scheduling, and he's involved in everything that I do. And my dad loves music as well, so he's also my like biggest supporter. Like if I go to the studio, he's like, I'm coming. Or like when I was going to Ukraine, he was like, I'm coming with you.
That's great.
But also it goes to my dad doesn't have many friends as well. But So I'm his best friend. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
But if we're being honest, I'm like, you know, he follows me everywhere.
That's wonderful. Are you the only child?
I have a sister, a younger sister. But she's in college. She's a cheerleader, and she's more of like, you know, parents like to say they don't have favorites, and I'll say it here. And even if my sister hears it, my mom loves my sister. My dad, we get a little more on.
That's okay.
funny.
That's okay.
True.
My dad was my best
I'm just a
friend too, so
truthful
I get
person.
it.
I don't think you answered the question about listeners, your music, and how it resonates with the
How it
audience.
resonates with.
Like I asked a question about what is it about your music that resonates so deeply with listeners?
I think it's more the sense that I think that I'm not afraid to speak my mind and what I believe in. And I think that, you know, it's me seeing other people. I respect people that speak the truth and speak in what they believe in versus people who don't and join bandwagons. So I think that might be like a big thing, is that I just speak my truth. And then I also think that maybe just like I've put a lot of hard work into it, and every time I do write something, I kind of think about who is it going to resonate with, like, is it going to work with a younger crowd, older crowd? And I don't think I've discriminated against like age groups or like issues in the world. I think I kind of involve a little bit of everything. Like I have a little immature songs, but then I have mature songs, you know, so stuff like that. I think, and it's very versatile. So like I don't really think I have a genre as well.
That's great.
So
Which
as
also
an
can be a
artist,
problem.
as an artist, though, you've witnessed firsthand how powerful music can be in challenging times and crisis. So how do you see music's role in healing and offering hope to those who are struggling?
So that's a huge thing. I actually, if I can mention a song that I wrote that actually helped kind of with like struggling things. I released an EP, and I have this song called Recovery. And so it's actually about, it has to do with like, you know, drugs and alcohol and, you know, realizing like family, you know, when you push people away and how much they've meant to you. And that's kind of like a big thing for me, because I used to smoke a little too much weed, I won't lie to you, in my younger age. And
How
I just
much
learned
younger
like,
were you? Because you're only 24.
I stopped smoking weed about, what was it, 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I realized it made me a lot more happy and more productive. It also opened my like palate to eat more food, which is weird. So that's kind of how I've done it with like music. Is just like I wrote the song Recovery, kind of helped people who've been struggling with drugs and family. That was kind of my way of doing it, and also my way of healing. But also a big thing about music, and when I do write music, especially with my newest EP, it has to do with a lot with like heartbreak and stuff like that. And so when I'm going through something really hard, I realize I listen to a lot of sad music and like the breakup albums, and that really helps me get through like a deep. I listen to depressing songs that make me somehow happy. I'm one of those people. I don't know if you guys can relate.
You and Adele, yeah, you have something in common with Adele, right?
Yeah. So I do think that music is kind of like the window to your soul of like, how can you become, like, if you listen to one thing, it's going to make you start really thinking about your life. And that's kind of how I write. It's like you listen and it's like, wow, did I like agree with this line? And like, is it making me change my perspective on something? So I think music is very powerful, and that's why I try to have the messages behind it and like supporting causes, is because having those two mesh together bring it into full circle, if that makes sense.
Yes. So I'm gonna jump into a more upbeat, happy. How are you spending the holidays? It's that special magical time of the year.
I actually I come from a family where we plan everything last minute.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Everything. When we were going to Ukraine, I knew a week before we were actually going and booked the ticket.
Okay.
So that's an example of my family. So if I'm assuming what we're doing for the holidays, we're going to be, doing our Christmas tree, just having family over. We also have some refugees from Ukraine that live with us, so they'll be joining us for Christmas.
Fabulous.
So we'll obviously do like a big Christmas dinner and stuff like that, and maybe play some board games, hopefully. I know that my plans are after Christmas is that I've been nonstop. So I'm gonna take myself on a little like ski trip.
Very nice.
Fun.
So the guests at your home right now, have they experienced an American Christmas before? Is this something completely new for them?
One of them has not, and then the rest have experienced it. They've done the Thanksgiving with us before, and the Thanksgiving and Christmas with us last year.
Okay.
And now they're back. They were in California for a little bit, but now they're back. So now we're gonna do our second Christmas together, and yeah.
Yeah, as a songwriter, obviously we're going into the award season, not just for movies, but also
Already.
music and all of that.
Yeah.
Have you attended the Grammys and all of those awards?
No, I have not actually. I would love to attend it, but I haven't been yet. I had somebody reach out to me about some like something for Song for Change Grammy list. But I need to look into it. I haven't had the time yet.
Because
today.
you really have collaborated. I looked at the list of folks that you've collaborated with. I would think that, and your video had over 1 million views, and you've really done some remarkable work in your young career. That would make sense for you to be invited to the Grammys or the American Music Awards.
Is the American Music Awards still around, Roger?
Which one?
American Music Awards.
It is.
They are. I'm so out of the loop on it.
It is. And of course there's the iHeartRadio as well, which which I think would be great for you as well.
Agreed.
Right? Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. I was working with someone before who got me like an iHeartRadio interview, but I need to look back into that. Not to make this all depressing, but the person I was working with committed,
Oh.
So we that's kind of everything with those things right now have gone a little bit down in the sense of just trying to figure out what the next move is.
Yeah.
But on a lighter note, I would love to do all of that. I'm just still trying to figure it out. I'm kind of like, I have me and my dad and I who work together, and we work together trying to find the interviews and figure out what the next step
Well, I'm
is.
so glad Jules, Jules did the intro. That was wonderful. I think what you probably need to do is hire a PR manager. Roger is looking right there.
I would love a new PR manager.
There you
it's
go.
just
He's
really
sitting
hard
right
to find
here.
people that you trust, and
He's
that
sitting
work
right
well
here
with
for
you.
you.
He's sitting right
He's
there.
a great PR rep.
He's been in the industry for 43 years.
Yes,
so,
very highly respected.
Yeah,
and
he started when he was 19, so that's the best one. Someone who's been he's seen it all. So I'm just saying, because she's put such great music out there, and you've had such amazing views, but it's more like taking it to the next level, because you already have the platform, but it's more like getting more mainstream.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I've been really trying to do, and I've been honestly, actually, it's really funny that you say that, because 2 hours before this, we were actually having a conversation. How do we get to that next level? How do we get to the...
Look at Roger. Can you see Roger?
He's over here doing
Can you see Roger waving his hands? Do you? I don't know. Can you see Roger?
No.
And Roger said he'll work with you. He loves your story.
Yep.
Seriously.
Roger, email me and we can talk. Have a meeting.
Your dad has Roger's info. So, Roger will connect
I'll tell
with
my
you.
dad.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful journey.
It
and
is.
all you need to do is just
Put it out there.
put it out there. Take it to the next level.
Absolutely.
And Roger is shaking his head. So you see, things happen for a reason, right?
Absolutely, it does.
So
I
2020.
do believe in that.
Yeah,
and so do we.
2025 is going to be...
We're all about it.
It's going to be
We're all
a
about
wonderful year for you. No, seriously.
It will be.
Yeah.
For sure. So I have a question. So I started in music when I was younger, and I would always go to an ocean and write. And just write. So do you get those kind of inspirations, or are you at the dinner table sometimes and it's like, hold on just a second, and got to start writing something down because it's in your head, or do you just do it all at once? How do you do it?
I love that you just said the ocean, because if we're going to say my toxic trait is believing I go to the ocean and all my problems are solved. And
Right there. What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Okay, so I'm a Cancer, so all about the water.
Wow.
But yes, it does. It washes
I'm
everything away.
Pisces, fit the water, the water sign.
Yes.
So Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Roger's shaking his head that he'll definitely work with you. So this happened for a reason. The universe, we believe
It
in
works.
this, universe works in, in this wonderful,
mysterious ways.
mysterious ways. And when Jules did the intro, I don't know if, I think it was Brett that she did the intro. I said to Roger, I gotta have you on. And so I'm so glad to Jules, because I got to go back and thank Jules for doing the intro with your dad, Brad. So, I mean, obviously, it's like, we talk about
We talk about this all the time. Even I'll just be sitting there, good, bad, or indifferent. And, even if it's bad, we're like, everything happens for a reason.
Oh, yeah. Good, bad.
This is leading up to something else.
Oh,
obviously,
seriously.
this is stopping from this path
Yeah.
to go on this path.
And
so
you heard the intro when I talked about last year. That was real. Where December, we're sitting around just having teeny apple pies, and next year it's who knows, the universe it's amazing. But you're so busy and you travel a lot. How do you spend your free time? Do you have friends?
I do have friends. I actually got asked the same question the other day when I was in Ukraine. Somebody asked me, I said, do you even have friends? I said, yes, I have lots of good
No,
friends.
just the only reason I asked is do you have let me rephrase it. Do you even
Do I have the time? No,
to?
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. I just
right.
found it
Do
really
you have
funny.
time? Yes.
Recently, I haven't really had that much time, for my friends or really anything outside of it. Since I've been back, I've just been really busy and trying to build something. And, of course I check up on them. I am taking this Saturday off, and turning off my phone, and it's my friend's birthday. So I'm going to reconnect with all my friends this weekend, which I'm very excited for. Yeah.
And I'm sure they're really understanding because they know what your life entails and what you're doing, and 100% supportive and with you on it, correct?
Yeah, and you want the friends that support you trying to make something of yourself versus the friends that want to hold you back, because we have a life to live, but let's get it to be able to live that life,
Agreed.
No, you're right. And so,
weren't we just talking about that too?
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
about
it's
having people that are supportive behind you to uplift you, to be your cheerleader, and really want you to succeed instead of pulling you back.
And
and the people that don't are the people that you don't really want in your life.
Oh, you're right about that.
Exactly.
Because who wants negativity? We want positive energy and people who believe and support you and they want to see you grow, and because life is tough, life is challenging. I'm going to go back to Ukraine just because it's so difficult to watch from afar and to see some of the still photos. I mean, your family members in Ukraine, what gives them that motivation every day to just go on?
So that was a question that I kept asking a lot of the time, because I have family members that don't want to leave their area that they're in, even though evacuation trucks have come in. But then I have the family that did listen to me and went to the city, and I took them to the city. So I asked this to a lot of Ukrainians because I was filming a documentary and I was down there, and their main thing was saying this is our home. So imagine if a evacuation truck comes to your neighborhood now, right?
Yes.
Let's say theoretically. Are you going to get on that evacuation truck and go to basically a compound where you're sleeping on mats or whatever they can give you to sleep on with your children? And when you get on these evacuation trucks, most of the men end up going to go to training for the war. You're going to be sleeping and have no money. You're that's basically what your life is. You're going to be living on a camp. And then you're leaving everything behind. Imagine leaving your dog or your cat at home. So that's what you have to do when you get into these trucks, unless you're one of those families that are fortunate to have enough money to be able to take yourself to the city and buy yourself an apartment, which is expensive, and bring your cat and dog with you and uproot and move your entire life that you've known. So I think the biggest thing for them is why should we have to leave our home? Wow. These are our home. We grew up here. We've had generations here. And the other thing about village and city life are very different. Village life, you're living off your farm, you're in the fields every day, and then you go to it's like going from a farm to almost New York City, if I could compare Kiev to where half these people are and my family is. So it's kind of very shocking and a cultural shock, I think, for most of them.
Yeah. So you talked about your documentary. Is that going to be something that where is this? Is it available on YouTube or?
Oh, so that will be coming out in April, I'm thinking, hopefully. I went down there and I filmed with a 11 people crew. We went to the front lines. We got up to like 9 kilometers. And we just kind of told stories, like true untold stories of Ukrainians and their reasons for staying in their houses and the reason for fighting. And I went to like an orphanage, a blood clinic, a maternity ward that was half blown up that women were still giving birth in.
Oh my God.
So I did all of that, and that will be coming out eventually, and I'll for sure shoot a note when it does come out.
So is it going to be on YouTube, or is it going to be...
So I'm putting it on YouTube, and then I'm in the talks, gonna hopefully get it. I would really like it to go on like an Amazon or HBO kind of thing.
Nice.
It's kind of the goal, but that's really hard to do. Yeah. But so YouTube for sure. So
get someone like Roger to help you get it to the right Amazon.
We would love to support that. So let us know when that comes out so we can share it and really be behind it and support that.
Of course.
For sure.
Roger just pointed to me. Oh my! We're down to the last 3 minutes.
Already?
I mean, this went by so
that went by
fast.
really quick.
I know.
Very bad.
So, if you were to have dinner with anyone, 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Okay, I would do the Beatles. Beatles, hands down.
Yes.
Because they're the most inspiration for all my music, and how a lot of my music, if you know about music theory, there's like 3/4 time and 4/4 time. They switch it off in their songs, and I've stolen that from them. I've stolen a lot of their beats. They're the ones that made me want to do weird music and inspiration and their little psychedelic stuff and all the colors and them for sure. I would want to pick their brain and ask them, how did they do it? How did they write so many hit songs? What is their secret?
Oh,
cool.
Keslie, your journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, and your music continues to inspire and uplift people all around the world. From your incredible experiences in Ukraine to your creative process and future projects, it's clear that you're a force to be reckoned with in the music world. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. Remember to catch up with Roger. Melissa, this has been an amazing interview with a young lady at 24.
Yes.
And she
25 now.
25, right? Thank you, Roger,
Thank you,
for producing this interview. And Jamie over there, thank you. Melissa, thank you for hosting with me. Again, Keslie, it's been so wonderful chatting with you. I know our audiences will benefit from watching, listening to this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching this amazing episode with Keslie. Please remember to watch us on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcast app platform. Please check us out next Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. You never know who's going to stop by. Until then, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Keslie.
Thank you guys so much for having me.